Greetings from Professor of Happiness. We have been talking about career planning, we have been talking about abilities, and in the last video I had shared that I am going to share with you some of the abilities which are so very important when we talk about career planning. So first let us understand what do you mean by this natural abilities. So understanding our natural abilities for better career planning. So if we need to really understand, let us understand that cognitive abilities are a collection of natural skills that occur on a neural level within the brain. We typically use these abilities without thinking about it, and they include abilities like listening, perception and attention. And you will all understand and appreciate that when we talk about any career, listening is an ability, perception is another ability, and attention is another important ability, along with logical skills, along with memory and all those things. So when we talk about all the skills, how they impact your career, let us see that. So we need to be aware. When we talk about our career planning, we need to be aware that our abilities play a very, very important role whenever we talk about any typical career. And if we do not understand them, then probably we do not know our strengths. And if we do not know our strengths, how do we move ahead on our career journey? So basically when we talk about abilities, let us ask few questions. So how do we access our memory? How do we access our memory? How do we process information in our system? Like our computer has a system or a CPU for processing the information. So how you process the information? How do we apply reasons? Probably, how do you apply actually logics? And how do we perform analysis of the data? So all these four questions will give us some clue about our abilities. So first and foremost is your attention. Now when we talk about attention, everybody has attention, but let us understand what do we mean by sustained attention. So what it does, it enables you to stay focused on a task for a sustained period of time. So if there is a job which requires your attention for a sustained period of time, you need to have that dominant ability of sustained attention. If this skill is weak, what happens? Then you will get distracted and you will have a lot of unfinished projects in hand, or probably a lot of unfinished tasks. So that is what is sustained attention. Next important is selective attention. So what is the selective attention? So it enables you to stay focused on a task despite distractions. So there could be a lot of distractions here and there, but you are focused. So if this skill is weak, what happens? You get easily distracted. So you are unable to focus on a job. Next is attention, but it is a divided attention. Now it enables you to remember information while doing two things at a time. So you can do multiple things, or two things you can comfortably do. Now common problem, if this skill is weak, it is difficult. For you, it is difficult to do multitasking. Probably if you are doing multitasking and if this skill is weak, there are chances of frequent mistakes in the system. Next important ability is your memory. Now when we talk about memory, let us understand that there are two types of memory. One is long-term memory and the other is short-term memory. So what it actually does, it enables you to recall information stored in the past. If you are strong on your long-term memory, then probably whatever you have stored, probably few years back also, it will enable you to recall. So common problems if the skill is weak is forgetting names, doing poorly on test, forgetting things you used to know, but now you're forgetting them because your long-term memory doesn't support that. Second memory is your short-term memory. So it enables you to hang on to the information while in the process of using it. And common problem if this skill is weak is having to read the directions again in the middle of a project. So if some directions are there, and probably you will have to read again and again because you don't remember them. Difficulty following steps. If there are multiple steps, then you find it extremely difficult to follow them. Forgetting what was just said in the conversation. So somebody is communicating to you and you say, can you please repeat? I don't remember that. So that indicates probably you are not attentive or your short-term memory doesn't support you much. Next is logic and reasoning. What it actually does. So it enables you to have reasons, form ideas, and solve problems. So common issues when this skill is weak is frequently asking, what do I do next? So you don't have any reason to work. Probably you will have a lot of questions. What should I do next? Or probably saying that I don't get this. I'm not getting this. Struggling with maths. Feeling stuck on, or probably you get excited about, and then probably a lot of anxiety develops when you have this skill. The skill is weak with you. So next probably important skill which or probably ability I would say is your auditory processing. So it enables you to analyze, blend, and segment sounds. So common problem if it is weak will be struggling while learning to read, reading fluency, or reading comprehension. So if this is weak, probably you will have all those problems. But if you're dominant, probably you are an excellent communicator and you analyze sounds very clearly. Next ability is your visual processing ability. So it enables you to think in visual images. So some people are very comfortable. They form images and in their brain, and then they move ahead with the problem solving, and they can imagine a lot of things. So probably if a person is a little weak in this area, he would be finding it difficult understanding what you have just read. Probably remembering could be a challenge. Following directions. You would have seen that some people struggle on even Google Maps because they are not comfortable with that visual processing. So all those challenges will be there if that skill is little weak. Then comes your processing speed. So there is something called processor in our CPUs and all. So what is your processing speed? So it enables you to perform tasks quickly and accurately. So if your speed is good, your accuracy is much better than many others. So what is the common issue if this skill is not so, or if this ability is not that great? What happens? So most tasks become difficult, taking a long time to complete tasks for a school or for work frequently being at the last one in the group to finish something. So you take a lot of time because your processor is little slow as compared to others. So these are some of the skills which I feel are extremely important, and we need to analyze that how you respond to these skills. So which are your dominant skills? So example, probably when you talk about say a doctor doing an operation in an operation theater. Now imagine if doctor has very less attention. He cannot concentrate on the patient or on the in the operation theater. So if he doesn't have sustained attention, what will happen? If he has distracted attention, what will happen? So you can understand all those challenges. If a driver, somebody is driving, and if he's distracted quite often, what can happen? So some of these are some of the examples when you talk about careers. So we need to understand which career has that dominant requirement of that ability, and how do we connect our dots or probably identify our dominant ability so that you excel in your career. So wishing you all the best. Try to identify which is your dominant ability. In case you have any issues, please go for some test which will enable you to identify your most dominant mental abilities. Thank you. All the best.